Hi everybody, it's your friend Dan, Daniel Hutchins. We're back again for another portion of the late night videos. And what are we doing? Well, first off, I am aware of the fact it's almost 1 o'clock, and yes, I know there's only 2 hours left of the late night videos. So what are we gonna do for one of the next parts here on late night videos? Well, I'm glad you asked, because we are gonna catch you up on what's been happening. Well, in case you guys were not tuned in with the other live shows I've done this week, let me just tell you, this week has been a little crazy. Oh boy, oh howdy, this week has been very crazy. Well, in good ways and bad, but actually more good than bad. But anyway, enough of that yama yama. But basically, and yes, I know my phone's on 20%. But that means I gotta be extra mindful to not run out of juice on my phone before the live show ends. So, what are we doing? Well, I have my yellow night lights on. Yeah, I got my yellow night lights on. I got my windows open. I have an orange IPA next to me on my table, which is kind of broken on one of the sides. But I'm really kind of hoping that I could get my ass some duct tape to see if it will hold it up. Also, I have my windows open, my fan blowing, I have my computer playing a little bit of the Little Rascals. Because, boy, oh, how do we love the Little Rascals. I'll maybe do a little bit of it and show you a little more of it later, but, um, yeah, so there, right out here, is my porch. This is also where I like to talk to Master Eric. Again, I like the Master Eric from the heaven that's above. In case you guys don't already know, this is kind of like what my neighborhood looks like. Well, in the dark. And we have that nice little orange light over there, because again, it's orange, which again is one of my favorite colors. Well, not President Orange, but the other things that are orange, like drinks, like food, like cheese, and other things that are orange. Make no mistake, I still like the color orange, but I don't like President Orange, and that's the one thing that is orange that I don't like. Everything else I really like. So, again, let's not do too hasty with ourselves now. Let's not be too hasty with ourselves now. So now. Okay, so that is that. Yes, I know I gotta wake up really early for church tomorrow, but like I said, you guys already know I'm 27 and a half years old. I like to stay up late. I don't know why my sister's bedroom door was open, but I gotta be extra careful not to make too much disturbance. And yes, I'm in the bathroom next to the shower of the comic book universe, where sometimes you guys get to see my shower segment. Um, And yeah, I'm probably gonna have to take a shower in the next day or two because I have told my sister Sarah, who again I share my house with, I had to get myself some more shampoo. Yes, I had to get myself some more shampoo. Yes, I had to get an extra big bottle because that little one over there was not sufficient. So, again, what are we going to be talking about and telling you for the rest of this night, or for the last 2 hours we have for the period we call the late night videos? Well, I can tell you one thing. I am looking forward to the fact that it's going to be a new week again. Mostly because of several factors. Um, this is kind of unheard of. My sister's bedroom door is open, and the master bedroom has the light still on. So, even if I wanted to go downstairs and grab myself a snack, it probably wouldn't be the best idea. Because, again, if you ever watch the movie Gremlins, if you eat at midnight, you become a gremlin. Well, I don't know if that's been proven to humans, but we know with Mugwise, if you eat after midnight, you become a gremlin. And boy oh howdy, I've watched that movie many times. Make no mistake. So, I guess we can do another chapter of the book. How to Not Get Eaten by Ewoks and Other Survival Guides of the Star Wars Universe. Okay. Yeah, we are ready for another chapter. Are we ready for another chapter? I think you guys are ready for another chapter. So, okay, we gotta be really quiet though. Okay, so the last thing we talked about was the danger of travel. Now, we're going to be talking about the hazards in technology. Okay. Super weapons. The ultimate hazard. That's no moon. It's a space station. It's likely to be the one that's out there that will blow you up. Watch out. The Death Star took more than 20 years to build. And like I said, you have Death Star 1 and Death Star 2. I don't have to go through specifics because if you guys watched episodes 4, 5, and 6, which we say is the original trilogy of Star Wars, you would know that. Super laser, super danger. Yes, it's very dangerous. Make no mistake. Accepting your fate. If you're on the surface of a planet and you're blasted by the laser of the Death Star, you're gonna die. Escaping from the super weapon. Well, if your planet is about to get destroyed by the super weapon, then you have a little bit of time to get off the planet before it gets destroyed. But again, like I said, that's kind of what happened when Princess Leia had lost her home Alderaan. At a glance, here are the warning signs of what will happen if your planet gets atomized or destroyed. Occupy some evacuation. Unexpected eclipse, which basically stars. New celestial objects. If there's a star that wasn't there before, there probably is one again. And there's also, again, warning sign if you see a strange light. Again, more warning that you would need. Hyperspace within the atmosphere. Just like we talked for the transportation, hyperspace in the atmosphere. This is basically when gravitational fluctuation in the planet mass in the atmosphere jumps to hyperspace through highly dangerous situations where you will die if you stay on for too long. Okay, industrial peril. Droids might take some of the risk, but you don't have to, so be very thankful for your droid. The galactic economy is first and foremost driven by productions and goods. Most factories are automated and run by droids. And again, they save the work for the humans that don't have to do the work, which unfortunately means they're not suited to preserving life in the land. If you somehow find yourself in a situation like don't touch anything. Gas mining. Now again, like the beautiful city of Cloud City, they have gas mining, where basically you're in a city in a cloud, hence Cloud City. SOX in the system. This is basically when you're have massive cups of connecting factories with industrial areas to a power facility to uplink the established power stream across the closed circuit. Through purple plasma arcs or whatever you do, do not fly through the shocks in the system. Workplace safety. If you have to visit a factory, make certain the machines have enough artificial intelligence, or as we call AI, to avoid cutting through flesh and catwalks through guardrails, and temperature controls are set to levels safe on organic beacons. Eye wash stations are also handy when you're in workplaces, and emergency respirators aren't too far away. Mold and metal. Temperatures can get really hot when you're manufacturing letters or metal. So again, remember if you're a blacksmith, you're basically molding metal. Lethal machinery. Again, it's pretty obvious. If you remember the droid factory from the Attack of the Clones off Lego Star Wars the video game, there's very, very, very dangerous machines that can kill you. Bottomless pits. This again, like I said, is pretty self-explanatory. Most of the factories have bottomless pits. So if you trip up and you don't watch where you're walking, you're going to fall in a bottomless pit. Trash compactor. Well, you already know that if you watched the original Star Wars from '77. You know, when Princess Leia tried to think that the trash compactor was the trick to get out of the Death Star, when in all actuality it wasn't. Carbon freezing. Again, that's like when Boba Fett has, put Han Solo through the carbonite freezing and has again brought the carbonite rock with Han Solo in it over to Tatooine over in Jabba's palace for decoration, just to wake up a few years later and be saved by Luke and Leia. And there's also more dangerous stuff like ruffians and other very bad substances that, again, with the right equipment, and otherwise leave it to the pros. Otherwise, just don't deal with them. Okay, computer systems. This is how you do computer systems. Having the right technology is important, especially in the Star Wars universe, but learning how to use it properly can make you all the difference. Knowing how to control your computer systems can you save your life. Some basic computer systems, if you're lucky enough to know the manufacturer and their override code. More specifically, a task that would require a droid assistance. Master code breakers, again, have been known to remotely seize control of the entire planet networks. Hot wiring. This is basically the basic way of computer manipulation, as we saw Han Solo trying to hotwire the way into the building on Endor. In a glance, data security. So again, when Princess Leia tries to put the external data card into the slot of R2-D2, he tries to receive hence the Death Star plans, which gave us the Star Wars universe. Pretty self-explanatory. Data vaults. Data vaults are also where you extract your material from. Astromechs can also interact with computers via wall mounts, or what they call terminals. They're special where droids can be able to reach with inserting the utility arm. Sometimes computers are secured against external extrusions to send spikes of electricity through that astromech's arm. Holograms. This is basically 3D projections of people and objects. More specifically, the projection and hologram that we had of the Emperor, or the hologram image we saw of Princess Leia. Save me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope. Save me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope. Here are some tips from Master Yoda. Computer terminals do and do nots by Master Yoda. Do use your astromechs to quickly shut down dangerous process, like a trash compactor with people trapped inside. Do not delay in feeding information to your astromech. It can process usually take a moment to proceed. The efficiency of a droid can still be undermined by human mistakes. Do. Do use your astromechs to override door locks and open blast doors. Do not. Do not let your astromech interfere with the strange computer without a strong antivirus software program in place to prevent from remote takeover. Okay, protections and defense. In a galaxy far, far away, you'll need to remember what to wear. So, this is important. Armor. Mandalorians get to customize their armor, hence they also have the armorer, as we saw from the Mandalorian series. So armor, civilian. Civilian can basically make their fashion as known as with their own armor. Built-in life supports again, like we saw from Rogue One with Saw Gerrera. Military. Generally fully enclosed to create illusions to individuality has vanished, all remains singular unstoppable fight force. And then you have the police, or as we call the Popo. They also have a cape that can also add weight to the way, but it does not add extra authority. Instead, it makes the hard armor law enforcement. Usually, it's harder to wear a blaster bolt diffuse and mesh underneath it. Helmets. Okay, so enclosed helmets, like Darth Vader. Open helmets, like the skiff helmet. Or semi-enclosed, your starfighter pilot helmet. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. In a glance, energy shields. Energy shields can provide extra protection to prevent your armor from getting scruffled. Armor might not be enough and you enter in the war zone. A personal energy shield, again, is small and can only stop small bolts from attacks, and is very slow moving. Battlefield shields. These can cover large areas in a base, especially on a planet, and it is also time massive shield generators would need large vehicles or huge people to hold them in place. Again, from 1999, The Phantom Menace, The Battle of Naboo. Um, the, the droids versus the Gungans. Planetary. This is a network of satellites that is ground installation may require to sustain a shield entire planet. Again, this can be used to regulate traffic within the shield. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, how do you work with droids? They can be very hard workers. They can protect you, and they are your friends. But if they're not, then you cannot trifle with them. Restraining bolts. These are the snap-on bolts that kind of control what a droid does, and droids don't like them. Astromechs and protocol droids. More importantly, the most famous example is R2-D2 and C-3PO. Pretty self-explanatory. Interrogation and torture droids. This is what we see in the Empire. They usually do that to try to extract information. Assassin droids. Again, like bounty hunters like IG-88. Again, watch out when droids go wrong. There's also droids from across the galaxy, even from the Clone Wars and the Separatists, when deployed a droid army. The situation has been helped by other droids, but they also have been droids that go rogue. Again, there's also a droid that also is managed by Jabba the Hutt. Her name is EV-9D9. There's also another droid called K2SO. That's the one that helped us serve for the early stage of the rebellion. Then there's also L337. L337 also is self-righteous in getting her job done, and by investigating with droid rebellions presented to itself. Beware, sometimes the droid rebellions can be much more common in the galaxy than you might think. So therefore, again, be aware of the way they serve you and feel indignated about it because you gotta be kind to your droid. Fixing it. So this is a flow chart on how to fix things. Every mechanical problem has to have a solution. Again, it doesn't fix itself, so you need to fix it. So, if it's broken, assess the problem. Is the problem fixable? If yes, select your tools. If no, it's junk. Do you have the correct tools? Again, if not, it's junk. If it is, arrange your parts. Try turning it on. Is it working now? Yes. Then go to have someone try it. And again, did they fix it? Well, again, you have to fix the problem. And are you satisfied with your work? If you're not, it's junk. If you tried fixing it, are you confident you fixed it? If not, it's junk. Again, if you tried hitting it, did it work? It's junk. Again, pretty self-explanatory. An idiot guide on how to operate personal weapons. So, the galaxy is full of weapons. So again, remember how to use them. So, if you choose a weapon for your situation, there is a blaster. It has fire-based energy. Grenades. This is basically for very large target attacks. Melee weapons. Normally you see people like the Tusken Raiders carry these. Okay, I don't have to go pros and cons because they're pretty self-explanatory. How to look after your blaster. Make sure that your sight is working. 2. Routinely replace the cartridge. If it's out of ammunition, refill it. And 3. Expect the barrel to make sure there's no shit clogging up barrel. It's pretty self-explanatory. The big guns. If you want to have a big gun, again, rocket launchers. You don't need to have them, but if you want one, you can have one. But I advise you not. Why are blaster bolts dangerous? Well, again, it's plasma. And if it heats up, it could burn you. Hence, it could wound you and possibly kill you. Blasters can also be very inaccurate. I mean, that's kind of why stormtroopers don't shoot in straight lines. Okay. How to scavenge and improvise. One person's junk is another man's treasure. Don't you know that old saying? One person's junk is another man's treasure. Or, the other way around I say it, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Again, same thing. Again, Jawas, Master Scavengers. Again, you probably already know about them if you watched the first movie. God damn it, you should already know. Wrecked starships. What do you do when you have a wrecked starship? Well, that means if your starship or spaceship or whatever has been wrecked, you gotta remember that there's Jawas out there and they can rob you out. They could rob you out. Oh God almighty, they can rob you out. Knowing what to save. This is what you save and this is what you don't save. The stuff you save, capacitor bearings, and servo motors. Also, things you don't save, inverters and reactant cradles. This is the art of how you repurpose things. If you have something just laying around, you improvise it and use it for better use by recycling it. It's pretty self-explanatory, dude. It's pretty self-explanatory. How to improvise your weapon. Well, you have log falls. If you want to have a log fall, again, have logs roll underneath you. Look no further than the Battle of Endor. Hand glider, again, Battle of Endor. Catapult, again, Battle of Endor. Net trap, again, Battle of Endor. Crusher, again, Battle of Endor. Tripwire, again, Battle of Endor. There we go. So here you go, guys. That's the end of another chapter. And the next chapter is... The next chapter for next time is Social Minefields. The next chapter we are going to talk about and how not to get eaten by Ewoks and other skills on how to survive the Star Wars universe is what we just said. So I'm not repeating it. So, in a couple more nights, I might do the next chapter. That's only again. So yeah, again, I just read the next chapter on the how not to get eaten by Ewoks and other survival guide things in the Star Wars universe. Again, it only took me like a couple minutes because, like I said, for the things you should already know, I told you should already know. For the things you don't know, I told you so that you know. Okay. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I've had my phone in for the last 3.5 hours now, and it's still holding at a 20% charge. So I don't know what the hell I'm going to do, but again, let's make no mistake. Again, alright, we are still doing a little bit of the Little Rascals. Yes, we're still doing a little bit of our friend, the Little Rascals. Yep, we're still doing some Little Rascals. Hey, the least you can do is enjoy some classic television. So, that's what I'm doing. I'm enjoying myself some classic television, goddammit. I got the subtitles on. I got the noise turned off. But again, if the copyright police come after me, then again, I'm not afraid of them. Because, again, they can kick my ass. Or they can have a knuckle sandwich up their ass. Or they can suck my dick. Because I want to do what I want to do, not what they suggest I should do. So, again, like I said, my friends, I appreciate how you guys are always trying to hop on to the live shows. It really is helpful. So again, continue to do that by continuing to support me on the Hutchins Hut. And until next time, see you in the next video.